what talent, what voice, what stories regarding you. See, a lot of people go to work every day miserable, and all they do is just talk about how miserable they are, but they don't do anything about it. You know, you've gotten comfortable, you stop expanding, you stop stretching, you stop challenging yourself. It's hard living.
Les Brown.
So most people don't use their imagination.
I love Les Brown.
Most people don't dream anymore. Why? Because through the conditioning process of life, after so many rejections, that can work because they've seen it done. And so they allow their negative history to determine the possibilities for them. And so when they run into a roadblock, even if they have something beyond their comfort zone, when they run into a roadblock, something happens to them. Most people allow life to control them and their circumstances. Look into the future. What is it you want? What is it you'd like to create for you? You want to make your dream come true, you got to stay focused. Some people rather get even than get ahead. Stay focused on where you want to go. This is not going to be it for my life. I deserve more than this. See, that will start making you do some stuff. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, but it's necessary. It's necessary that you have it, that you work on it, that you develop yourself, that you go for what is yours in the universe. The major key to your reaching your dream, your living up to your greatness, your making your contribution to your making things happen in your life is you. You've got to take personal responsibility to make it happen. That you make it happen, that you don't give up, that you don't take any objection or disappointment or defeats personally, that you keep on keeping on, that you don't decide that I can't make it because you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Live your life with passion, with some drive. You've got to remind yourself that you've got powers within you, talents within you that you haven't even reached for yet. So whatever dream you got, that dream, that idea, that has been given to you. There's no guarantee that because somebody is now down on their luck, they can never come back. Who can guarantee that you can't make it, that you can't have your dream? Who can guarantee that you can't do what you want to do? No one can do that. No one can predict that. What we need to do is we look at our dreams as we get ready to hit the floor. I'm blessed and highly favored.
Dude, can you hear me? Dustin?
I can hear you.
Dude, that is a shiner.
Yeah, you like that? Isn't that nice?
That is just sick.
Yeah, I play football, and yesterday, on Sunday, I took a knee to the face.
Football or rugby?
It's a two-hand touch, 35 and up leg football leg. It's not supposed to be aggressive. I happened to dive, and at the same time, one of our big guys, full speed. He can't even play this week. His knee's so swollen. So we're all good.
Yeah, good thing for hard heads.
Yeah, exactly. That thing's solid.
Hey, Tim, did we lose the girls?
I think we did. Hi, Dustin. I'm Tim Frey. How are you doing?
Hi, Tim. Nice to meet you. Was that your video you put together, or did you just?
Debbie gave it to me to put on at the beginning of every night that we do Tuesday night. We do this. We put that on. right now. We picked different ones, but that's the main one right now we put on.
I like that a lot. You know, it's inspiration is something that everybody can use and need, and so.
Definitely.
Hey guys.
Hey Debbie, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Hey Dustin.
Hi.
Did Nancy get kicked off too? I got kicked off. We're a bit technologically challenged, Dustin, but we're working on it. And so I get incessant messages, you know, with people trying to come on, and we're trying to master it. And often there's people watching, and we don't even realize they're there. So yeah, so we started with a trailer, you know, on the invite, and then you know we like to queue up, you know, motivational videos because our Be Better Tuesdays is really about that. It's about, you know, just being better in all areas of our life. So that's kind of what we're trying to create with our team and our group, and for it to be a place where people that, you know, don't necessarily have to be utilizing the product. It's if you're on a keto lifestyle and you want to be better. So that's what we focus on, and we try to inspire and motivate and you know, really encourage each other's, you know.
That's awesome. I'm glad you let me jump on one of these. This is great.
And it looks like you got a little accident going on there. Do I dare ask?
Oh, just a football game.
Yeah. Nice. Love war wounds.
Yeah, it was a fun event. That's for sure. We lost by 7, so it's okay.
Oh, that's okay. It's the fun in the game, right? That's what I tell my kids.
Exactly.
It's always better to win, though. I'm sorry, but so I'm not sure where Nance is. Tim, I can't see all the viewing things. We don't know how to put a chat up.
He's not there though. The chat's up.
Okay. Okay, because I can't see the chat, which is fine.
So what you do is you hover over to the left.
Yep.
Debbie, hover over to the left, and then a bar comes out.
Yep. No, I see it. Oh, there's the group chat.
Yep.
Okay. So we've just lost Nancy. Tim, you can see how many viewers are on. Do we have a few of the team on?
Yes, we do.
All right. So we're already past 8. So we're gonna head on into it.
Okay.
And we're going to assume that people are there and watching us. There's Nance. So first of all, everybody, I want to welcome you to our Be Better Tuesdays hangout call. I was saying to Tim earlier that we've had such a small, intimate group for quite a while that I've been forgetting to introduce myself. So I am Debbie Salmons, and I am right now outside of Boston, near Plymouth, where the land of the Pilgrims is. Rainy and cold, actually. But we're really glad that you took some time out and you're here to hang out with us and listen to us. And as I was just explaining to Dustin, you know, what we're trying to do here as a team is to really be a support, to be here to motivate, to assist, to share, and to work together on this journey of being better, and whatever that being better is for you. So that's, you know, that's really what we like to do here, and often we do conversations, we let other people on with the camera, and we chat, and we just kind of support each other. But tonight, we're like totally stoked to have the man of the hour, Dustin Schaefer, on with us. And, you know, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Dustin. You know, I've been on his website, which is called the Schaefer Method, by the way, .com. I have that saved in our files section. But here's what I know a little bit about Dustin. I know that he spent about 15 years training with doctors and coaches and personal trainers himself, so that he could, you know, kind of cue himself up and get the best knowledge to then go out and share that with other people and other clients. And I know that he's logged a lot of hours working with a lot of clients and helping them with lots of different things. I think you've worked with many thousands by now, Dustin, right? Helping them with weight loss and strength building. I read in your bio that, you know, injury prevention, cardiovascular things, all kinds of health operations of our body that we're all looking for, right? And I know that you've been involved with Prove It pretty much from the beginning.
Sure.
And
yes.
yeah, and you know, you're playing a vital role, and that's what I know, in helping everybody improve it to be better. I mean, I know people are messaging you all the time and asking for your help, and you know, we all only have so much time that we have in a day to share. So we are really, really grateful to have you here with us and to give us some of your time. So Nance and I and Tim, we always kind of talk about the topic and the direction that we want to go in. So when we were chatting this morning, we were talking again about this journey and the fact that this is a health product and a weight loss is a great, great side effect, but how we all get stuck on the scale measurement. And I've heard you talk about this many times, Dustin, so I can't wait for you to share some more of your insight. But after I talked to them, I have permission to read this. It's a good friend of mine that has been on keto for about 6 weeks, been on the Keto OS. He participates in our Facebook group a lot, asks a lot of questions. And I was talking to him today, and he sent me this message. And this encompasses the direction that we want to kind of go in tonight and to address. So this is from my friend Mark. Everybody on the team knows it because he posted it on the team page. And he said to me, I've just been frustrated with myself. I keep going over the dietary math over and over and over again from every angle I can think of on why I'm not dropping fat, and I keep coming up empty. I've tried every diet I could find over the years, so I'm used to following each diet's various macro percentages and other recommendations pretty strictly and sticking to it. However, I have failed each and every time on a diet for the same reason. I have always had massive cravings, and sooner or later I just ended up binging on junk food, and we all know that. You fall backwards, right? The positive thing that Marcus said was this. Now with this diet and the Keto OS, it feels like for the first time everything finally has clicked, and I have no cravings at all for the first time in my life, and heck, I don't even really feel hungry all throughout the entire day, which is amazing to me. But now I can't seem to lose inches or pounds no matter what I do or how little I eat. It just blows my mind. It seems like my body keeps fighting me every step of the way. Sorry for venting. It's not the diet. It's me. My body hates me, apparently. So there's so much info in here, I know, Dustin, that you can address and that we all talk about. So I don't know if you don't mind sharing what hits you or what strikes you first about that.
Well, first off, I'm just going to get the elephant out of the room. I do have a black eye. That's not my normal me. Normally I have like a nice dress shirt on. So I rushed in here to make this call tonight, and I'm really grateful to actually be on, and that, you know, Debbie, Nancy, Nick, you know, we've got to talk in the past, and I've always enjoyed our times together, and so thank you for letting me come on and talk. And Mark was his name?
Yes, Mark.
You know, the thing about this, which is interesting, is what brought me to this product. It's basically a summarization of my career. You know, it's like everything led up to this day and this moment, and that's why those inspiration videos that you're posting are so vital, because you can look at that at any time of your life. Everything led me up to this moment to make the next step, to learn something, and so. What I find the most valuable times is when things don't make the most sense, is when you have the biggest opportunity to learn. So for me, it was all these things leading up to this moment, and then it's just like finally I pushed through, because 6 months, a year prior to that, I was struggling trying to find a way to make my career take off. And it's like a piece of grass, right? It's like just breaking through the soil, and if I quit too soon, it's never going to grow. But if I just let it go, eventually it blossoms and blooms. So, Mark, the biggest thing for you is I'm going to encourage, and all you out there that are maybe feeling overwhelmed or stressed about something, is a couple things that you can consider. Is first off, what are you winning at? What is improving in your life? What are the things that you're accomplishing? And really, let's celebrate those things. You know, because at the end of the day, let's just say hypothetically, you never, ever, ever lose weight. If that never could ever happen, what are you going to be rewarded about? What are you going to be excited about? What are you going to be confident with? What are you going to be happy about in your life? Now, what's interesting by that is that if you think about it that way, if you think about it, if it's a relationship or if it's a mood or if it's a grandchild or a child or a job or whatever else, it's going to reduce your stress in your life. You're just going to feel better. What's interesting is the more you worry about losing weight, the slower it goes, because it actually increases a hormone that prevents you from losing weight. So I know that's easier said than done. Telling somebody not to worry is not an easy thing. But telling somebody or encouraging somebody to celebrate the other things that they can look at. So if you can just write down 5 or 10 things that have improved or enhanced over the last 6 weeks, and if there's none, then I think it's time for us to bring you into this meeting and or find people close to you, because I'm pretty sure there's some things that have improved. One being you're part of a really cool community, you know, and that in itself is a reward. That in yourself you should be celebrating that you actually are here right now. So celebrate your rewards, celebrate anything that you're winning at, and that will help out so much. Now, on the other side of that is, Mark, you sound like you're a rule follower. You followed everything to a T. Well, what's interesting is that the person or the thing you should follow the most is you yourself. And sometimes the more you try to make everything seem to fit in a perfect scenario or the perfect window, the less likely it's going to work for you. Maybe there's just, you kind of almost have to forget about it all and just truly trust your instincts and trust your body. People come to me, Nick and I, we've had this conversation many times, and his weight didn't drop off overnight. It didn't. But he stuck with it because he kept winning at all these other things, and now over this last few months, his life has truly changed. He is a completely different person. We just talked about it last night. So, you know, if somebody's been dealing with weight loss their whole life, metabolically, your body's confused. It doesn't actually know what it's doing. We're trying to reprogram that. And so I always tell people to be patient. Don't trust any numbers. Don't even trust me. But beat it up. Don't go too far away. You know, and there's a good chance that what we're saying is pretty close to what you should be doing. But maybe it's just a fine tuning. Maybe it's you are consuming too many calories. Maybe that you think 1,200 or 1,500 is low. But reality is that if you're not that active and your body's in state of nutritional ketosis, you'll actually be burning off a lot of calories off your waistline, and you don't need to eat as much, at least maybe not for a week or two, and then slowly as you lose weight, you can slowly increase those calories because your body, it doesn't have the fat anymore to burn, it needs it from food. Sometimes people aren't eating enough, and how do you know? Well, it's something that we have to play with. If you're really active and you're exercising all the time and you're on a low-calorie diet, maybe you need a little bit more because your body's going into this protective starvation mode. How do we know that? Well, my rule is kind of lean towards that you're doing too much, you're eating too much, and if that doesn't work, then go back the other way. That's usually the safe bet. If you tell me that you're a triathlete or you're a marathoner, let's lean the other way. Let's lean that you probably need to eat more and you're not eating enough. Increase your hydration. Look at your stress management in your day-to-day lives. I stay below 20 grams of carbs almost all the time. And that's what I do. That's how I live my life. And once every week or 2 weeks, I'll have, like on Sunday, I had a whole bunch of fruit, which brought me up to about 180 to 200 grams of carbs for the day of just pure fruit. So that's what I do. And it works really well for me. It helps me manage my life. But to somebody else, that may be extreme. So this is kind of a biohacking. We're teaching people to, hey, play with it. There is no cookie cutter here. It's really figuring out what works ultimately for you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dustin. And, just listening to you talk really motivates me, too. And there's always little bells going off in my head, too. And the more we chat about this and the more we communicate it, when the teacher's ready, when the student's ready, the teacher appears, right? Absolutely. And I also, what I got out of this, Mark is really hard on himself. And when we're really hard on ourselves, which I know I've been that way too, that causes stress to us. That, and I've heard you talk about the cortisol that's released, and Nancy and I were talking this morning about it, and I'm going to throw it over to her so she can, she can tell a little story and share it with you about what you just talked about with the stress of her job and how she's kind of getting through that, with the journey. Because like you're saying, we have to tweak it to ourselves. We get ideas from each other, but there's more to it, in my personal opinion, than just like the food consumption. Although that's a main thing, and I get that. there's more to it because there's a mind, body, spirit element. And so that's what we're all trying to focus on too. Nance, just if you have something you want to throw at Dustin so he can answer it or share that story, whichever you want, honey. Introduce yourself too, because we might have new people on.
New people?
Yeah.
I'm Nancy Danter, and I'm out of Toronto, Canada, and I've been a prover since July 5th this past summer, and I'm down just shy of 35 pounds, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I think after just a little over 3 months of doing this now, I think I've figured out how my body works. It took about 3 months to figure it out. So I kind of relate to Mark. Is it Marcus or Mark?
Either way.
I relate to it because I did the start-stop thing too until I recognized sort of what my body does now. I would say about a week when I drop pretty steadily, and then I spend the next 3 weeks, nothing seems to be going on. It just seems to be, and then at that fourth week again, I'll drop steadily for a couple of days, and then I sit, So I don't know, everybody's body's different, and I guess, Dustin can speak to that in a little bit, but one of the things Dustin knows I'm a video addict, and I've been watching all sorts of videos, and my latest one, I saw an Oprah episode the other day that she talked about her 20 aha moments of her entire career, and one of them was when she wanted to be on The Color Purple, and she wanted it so bad she could hardly stand it. She wanted it and wanted it. She did everything. She met all these people, and she put herself in all the positions. She sent videos. She did all kinds of things to try and be on this, and nothing was happening, and it was like all the other parts were getting casted, and she just was making herself crazy wanting it. So she was actually at a fat farm, she said, and she was walking the track at the fat farm, and she all of a sudden had a moment while she was out there walking and thinking to herself, well, am I going to be okay if I don't get this? Am I going to be okay? Is my life going to be okay? I want this, but am I going to be okay? So she just kind of started to sing a little song, and it was a sort of a little hymn, but she surrendered it. She surrendered it, and she got out of her own way, and she said no word of a lie. About 20 minutes later, they came running out and found her. It was Steven Spielberg on the phone telling her not to lose 1 more pound because otherwise she'd be in jeopardy of losing the role. And so she immediately went to Dairy Queen and had an ice cream cone on the way home. But the fact of the matter is, I was doing that with my own job. I was doing it with the weight loss. I was telling Debbie I was feeling so frustrated with my job that I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And I just surrendered it this weekend. I was out walking in the woods, and I had an aha moment, and I understood things. I'm showing up. I'm bringing my ideas. I'm doing all the right things, and I'm just going to surrender the results because I can't do anything else. I don't know what else to do. And guess what? I got 3 calls out of the blue today. 3 calls. I got teary talking to Debbie about it, and I go, but isn't that the same as the weight loss? Isn't that exactly what we're talking about here? If you're doing the right things every day, if you're getting up and you're going for your walk in the morning, if you're drinking your Keto OS, if you're following your macros and you're doing all the right things, then you need to just release it and get out of your own way and let your body do what it's supposed to do. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what you would say, right, Dustin?
Yeah, absolutely. You couldn't have said it any better than that. And what I like to talk about, and I want to make a picture of this, is what the scale's not telling you. And people are literally transforming inside themselves, and they're too stubborn to not recognize it. And I'm no different. I mean, I think we've all put ourselves in situations where we weren't seeing our successes. Through a recon unit and performing, it's always about how to be better at it. But yet we didn't always reward ourselves for the amazing things we did. The next thing you know, I realized I accomplished things that most people will never experience. But the time doing it, I didn't appreciate it because we're always trying to strive for the next thing. And I think we're in a place in our life now where we should enjoy it all. Why not? Why not surrender and just truly, be content and happy where we're at, and then trust in the system and the process to get to where you want to go. and if we enjoy the ride, it'll be a much better journey along the way. And that's part of my other practice that I work with. It's, you know, how do you balance out, you know, the physical health with the chemical health, the spiritual health, and the emotional health. And by balancing those out, it's not equal. Everybody's going to be strong in certain areas, but just finding some level of balance there to get you, quote unquote, to the promised land in a better way, whatever that means to you, but just feeling happy about the way our lives are and the way we live our lives. And Keto OS is just one amazing tool. And the truth be told, Keto OS and Prove It. You know, I spent a lot of time with Brian Underwood, the founder of Prove It, and he inspires me because, I mean, this is all he talks about, guys. We don't talk about any of this other stuff. We're only talking about the pursuit of being better. You know, and I mean, I spend, you know, 2, 3 in the morning in his hotel rooms, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about, like, hey, how do you see your life with your kids? How do you envision yourself in the next year? What do you see yourself doing, and what do you want in your life to be like? And we focus more on the why than the how. Why do we want to be there? And let's reinforce that. And it's kind of weird because, you know, you think of the CEO of a company with some of the key players in there that we're talking about driving sales and making money. We don't talk about that at all. We really don't. We're just talking about inspiring ourselves to get the most out of what we want, which will then in return help inspire people around us to do the same. And so, Nancy, you hit it on the head. I think, you know, I love that story with Oprah. I know it very well. And just be patient. Let your body evolve inside of itself and trust the process and stay within the community, because the community, what you guys are doing here is really, to me, the biggest key. More important than the product, it is this community, and the product is just a really good tool to help enhance the community.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Nance. Thank you, Dustin. And that's, you know, this is a conversation that Nancy and I had this morning. You know, I believe there are no coincidences, right? I didn't give Dustin a script and tell him everything that Nance and I had talked about this morning, but we were talking about just that. We were talking about visualization. And I meant to bring down my vision boards, but they're upstairs. And because Nancy and I are big vision board people, you know, and it's really important. I had gotten to a point in my life when Nancy and I first met where I couldn't dream anymore. I couldn't envision anything. Things had gone very bad in my life, so that I had shut down to protect myself. But we've been coming out of that over the past 5 years, and like we're just primed. And so actually Saturday, Nancy had me do an exercise where I had to list 10 things that were really kind of off the charts stuff that would almost be hard to believe that could happen. But I understood that the purpose of that exercise wasn't really to see if any of those things would happen. It was to stretch my mind and to stretch my belief. And why not? Why not have, you know, dreams and visions of where you want to be? If you've got children, you know, you want to be with your children, whatever your what is. And so that is exactly what is important to us here, Dustin. Keto OS is absolutely amazing. I love it. I don't ever want to stop taking it, that's for sure. But there's so much more to it than that. And, you know, we talked about breaking things down into bite-sized little nuggets. And I'm going to let Tim Frey talk about that. Tim Frey was a football player. Dustin, I don't know if you knew that. And, you know, so everything, how do you eat an elephant? As Nancy says, one bite at a time. And so if we're focusing on our long-term goal that we have out here, and then we work it backwards, and we break it down to what we do each day, then we celebrate those little successes that you're talking about every day. Today, a big success for me was I ran an extra minute on the treadmill. And let me tell you, that minute felt like an hour, you know, but I did it. So that was a huge success for me. So we get that, and that's absolutely what we want to do here with our group. So Tim, you're up, baby.
So on this same topic, I'll give a little story about me. I'm Tim. I'm from Toronto. Go Blue Jays. Sorry, whoever's from Texas. When Nancy brought me into this July the 17th, I was 287 pounds. My football weight at 7 to 9% fat was at 205. I was back in the day in the 80s, And early 90s, it's like no neck. Like me and Pinball Clemens. Pinball's up here in Toronto. We were like known as the twins. But it's like I was like, that's it. 287 pounds. That was it. I had a bad chronic back. I didn't know what to do. I told my wife, Patty, you know what? My son's 25. I started again. I got 2 young kids. I'm not able to move with them like I was for my son. So I had to do something. So Nancy got me on this, and I got to be honest with you. 6 weeks of research. I do my research. 6 weeks of research before this. I started it, and it changed my life. The weight doesn't matter. I can tell you right now. Nancy's been bugging me from day one to find out how much I lost. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know I lost a lot. I don't know how much because I don't use the scale. I just feel better. I have no back pain. I can run around with my kids. I make food for my kids at night. I get up and get them ready for school in the morning times. There's so much more I give grateful thanks for every day for using this product and doing the lifestyle, because the lifestyle is what I changed. Everything's changed for me as far as eating, what I put in my mouth. And that alone, I give every day I'm thanking God every day for that. And Keto OS is now my daughter's starting to take it, and we noticed something different in her at school. She does French and English, and after a few days of taking it, she came back with this certificate saying, her teacher saying, thank you. She's the only one today in class that was able to get up and start asking questions in French and talking French in grade 3. Everyone else, and so I looked at Patty, and Patty goes, no. I go, yes. I go, yes. I said, yes, it is. And every day, my daughter takes it now. She has to take it. She goes, Dad, I love this. So it's by bit, but it's now we know it's a lifestyle. I'm 48. Until I die, I will take it because it's making me better. It's allowing me to do things I haven't done before since I was 25. I don't look at the scale at all. It's not about the scale. Like my pants that I had hang up in my room, I could put them on now. Had them there for years. Just didn't throw them away. I could put them on now. So I know I'm losing weight. It just doesn't matter about the scale. It really doesn't. So my thing to those who are watching, the viewers, is that a lot of people are taking this because they're hearing how everyone's losing weight. And seeing something, you want to touch it, and that's how that's what motivates you to actually do something like losing weight. But they need to understand this is not a weight loss lifestyle or system. It's the weight comes off because you're living this life. That's it. So they need to understand to live this life, find out how to live it in their own way, and that weight will come off, whether it's today, whether it's next week, whether it's 3 years from now, 10 years from now. I put on this weight in the last 20 years. Why am I trying to take it off in 2 weeks? It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? I've got to let it ride out. You know what I mean? I got my plans for retiring at 55, down in Barbados. So I got time.
Awesome. Thank you, Tim. You can tell Tim's fired up, can't you, Dustin?
But this is how I am. I own businesses, and I'm just a fired up person, a motivator, and that's how I am.
I love it, and that just shows you his success is because how he's seeing the things that he's trying to achieve, and he's looking at the why more than the how. And once he understood why he wanted to do it, and then he just implemented the how, he forgot about it and just kept going, focusing on the why, and it's working out for him. So that's an important tool.
I was on your call last night, Dustin, or it was Monday night, right? Was that last night? I don't know what day it was. And you told an awesome story about another woman. I think she was in her 30s, and she had kind of stalled out after 5 weeks. And you talked about that, and then you told her a neat trick in throwing out the scale, but you told her to do something else. I don't know if you remember what it was, because sure. I did it this morning.
Awesome.
So I don't know if you'll share that.
Absolutely.
I thought it was great.
I in my career, so in over 15 years of doing what I'm doing, I've watched people walk into my office. And the one that I remember the most is about 8 years ago. This lady walked in my office, and my scale was broken, and I used to do body fat measurements on everybody. Like, I measured every body fat all throughout, and I analyzed hormones and all this crazy stuff. My scale was broken, so we had to weigh her in the front. It's the same scale, same type of scale. So we go and weigh her. I realized she had lost a couple pounds from the previous week, but she thought she didn't. It was like the walk of shame up to my office for like 35, 40 seconds. Her head was down, horribly depressed. She gets into my office. I open up my computer. I put in her information. She saw that she lost weight. She was the happiest person on the planet. And I was like, oh my goodness. That number dictated everything. Nothing else did. So she never weighed herself again. I never would let her weigh herself in my office. I threw everything out. So what I tell people to do is, if that scale has an emotional reaction, if you have an emotional reaction to it, and even if you don't think you do, you probably do, throw it out. And I mean, when I say throw it out, get it out of your house. There is no reason you need it in your house. Get it out of your house. Find a set of clothes that don't fit you. Put them on. If you want to, take a picture. Hang them up on the back of your door. Every 2 weeks, I want you to try those clothes on. When they fit, do it again. Now, if you get to that place where you're like, I don't have any more clothes, well, that's a perfect time to go reward yourself. Go out and buy a set of clothes that you want that don't quite fit. Every 2 weeks, try them on. When they fit, go out for a nice dinner and celebrate your success. And you do that, your life will change. Not just about weight loss. Your life will change. If you're single and you want to be on a date, you'll get on a date. If you're looking for a new job, you're going to find that job. Because the energy that goes around this of rewarding yourself, it's pretty amazing how people will gravitate towards you. If you even just think about all the people that are taking Keto OS right now and their mood's a little different, just think about how people have interacted with you differently now than they were before. It amazes me how many more people, like I go out to the airport, I'll have 35, 40 people stop and talk to me. It is unbelievable what happens, especially if I get Michael Rutherford with me. We both walk through together. It's like we can't even go. It's not because they know who we are. It's just the energy that we bring together just attracts these people to want to be part of it. So that's my little trick. It works really, really well, and the success rate is probably 99.9% success.
I thought it was brilliant. That was, there's always a nugget, right? When you listen to people talk, there's always a nugget, and that was mine last night. And I told Nancy early this morning, I said, guess what I just did? And I did that exact thing. And I think it's brilliant, and I think all of these little things just help the process so much more. Nick, I know you have got to run, and we're running about 38 minutes. Dustin, sometimes we hang out for an hour, but we don't expect that you have to do that. But Nick, I want you to come on and say hi to Dustin, and if you've got something that you might want Dustin to answer, or a question you've asked him in the past, maybe.
Okay, can you hear me? Well, Dustin and I were able to talk for about 40 minutes last night, and I just really appreciate his desire to help this team be better. He's a dedicated man. I know that this has been a change for him in his life. What he's able to do now for his family has been, it's life-changing. What he's able to do for us is he's just totally committed. There's nobody that I know that's more committed. Maybe Rutherford that much more, but Dustin's committed to the success. I don't know if you've heard this, but Dustin's goal is to help 1 million people. That's a lofty goal. But he told me that 3 months ago. When I first met him, he told me that he had had that much of a change in his life, that it had been that significant to him after about a month being involved with the company, that he knew that he could do something. Something else that Dustin has shared with me is that he's helped more people in the first 2 or 3 months of being involved in this company than he has in the last 13 years. You can correct that if you want, Dustin, but that's what this is about. It's about being able to help people and help them be better. I had an opportunity this weekend to share the story, my story, and truthfully, it's kind of scares me sometimes when I realize where I was, but I'm just grateful to where I am, because the past does not equal the future. We've got so many people that believe that now. People are re-engaging themselves in their lives and their relationships. Just like Dustin said, people actually are nicer. When people come up to him at the airport, there's a reason for that. They see something in him that isn't everybody else is running around, trying to get to where they got to go. He's making a really significant change in their life. So, Dustin, from me and Debbie and Nancy and Tim and everybody on the team, we welcome you. We welcome all of the things that you'll offer and provide us. They are really clapping, and we just want you to know we appreciate you. We appreciate your contribution not only to our team and to us as people, but to the company. Being able to, I would love to sit down with Brian. I think he's one of the smartest guys I've ever heard speak. I've never had a chance to really talk with him, but I think he's super smart. We also talked a little bit last night. You guys are going to run into this. Brian Underwood has made some failures in business, and people will bring it up. And I want to tell you the quick story that Dustin told me last night. He had knee surgery several years ago, and the type of surgery was pretty drastic. The doctor that performed the surgery, or that type of surgery, had the 6 people previously had died because of the surgery. So this is a significant story. Would you want that guy now to operate on you, or you want the new guy? And so, Brian's had some rough patches, but I'm gonna tell you, the people that I know that keep saying that about him, they're so missing out. They're so missing out on the changes that occur in our lives and in people's lives. And as we continue to share this, it's so funny. You've all experienced this where people reach out to us. I mean, I had a gal message me on Facebook this morning. I probably haven't talked to her in a year and a half, and I worked with her. So they see what's going on. And so keep sharing the message, keep sharing everybody's success stories, because we all have them. Even Debbie's story, because Debbie doesn't like her picture on Facebook. Mm-hmm. You can share her story. She's okay with it most of the time. So anyway, welcome, Dustin. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Nick. I truly do. I've always enjoyed our conversations. And just to kind of really briefly reiterate on the story of my knee surgery is that people were worried that because these deaths that happened, and I just told them that if everything was always perfect, I'd be more worried going in, because I don't know if they'd be prepared to make the right decisions if something did go wrong. And I kind of saw that with Brian, and I work with people that are extremely wealthy, and they've all made big mistakes. And Nick and I were talking about Abraham Lincoln's story. If you go read his failures, you would be like, well, who's this guy, right? But then the guy, one of our best presidents of all time, I believe the best, but not everybody may believe that. And so that's what's cool about this company. It's about a pursuit of being better, and I think we can all kind of strive for that. And I'm just grateful that you're allowing me to participate in any way I can. And obviously use me for my knowledge, and if I don't have an answer, I'll just make one up. I'm just kidding. I'll go find it for you.
Oh, that's funny. That's true. Well, and it's true. I knew Brian Underwood before also, and I knew Michael, but I mean, I don't think we'd have enough time to list all my failures that I've had in life. We don't have enough time. And I've done traditional businesses, lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in traditional businesses, and but that's what it is. I've failed at losing weight before. I've succeeded at it. That's life, isn't it? That's life. And that's the journey. And again, we go back to the beginning topic that we're talking about, and that's the small successes, which is it's the way to go. Nance, Tim, I don't know, do you have any other directed question about the product or about the diet for Dustin?
No, but I would like to say, with regards to failures or situations that seem mucky or seem like it's not going perfectly, again, that same Oprah episode that I was watching on Saturday, she talked about that is your opportunity. If things aren't going exactly as you want, you need to sit there and be thankful that they're not going exactly as you want. And it took me back for a minute, and I had to really listen to what she was saying, and she said, because it's in those moments that you are growing and developing as a person. So if your weight loss isn't where you want it to be, well then you have to kind of figure some stuff out and go back and look. Did I eat too much, as Dustin said? Did I not exercise? Like what is it? If you're not sleeping well, at night, then that's something you need to work on and just be okay, how do you be thankful for the fact that you're not sleeping at night? Well, because it's your body telling you something. It's if you can look at every situation that's not perfect, as in that there is an outcome for you in the long run to how to deal with it, and just be grateful for that. Like she's a big proponent on gratitude and just being grateful for every single thing that's happening to you in every moment, because it's for your better good. It's for the greater good, no matter how you slice it. And I mean, what's the alternative? Really, what's the alternative? Okay, stop doing the keto OS system. Stop eating low carb, high fat. Go ahead. Where will that get you? We did that before. We got there. So you've tried everything else. Just keep going. I mean, Dustin, you said it before, and I just need to reiterate. Our bodies are doing something, even though we can't see it doing something. We don't know what it's doing, but it's doing something, because clearly my body now, I know, after 3 months of doing this, I have a steady weight loss, a good and then it stops for 3 weeks. Stops. Nothing happens. It just stays the same for 3 weeks, and then boom, and then it's steady down again. So that would be my question, just to reiterate again that we can't see what's happening.
Yeah, and to add on to that, Dustin, what Nancy's putting out, I remember hearing you talk about bone density one time and what's going on with that in our bodies. Can you talk about that just a little?
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, last night I actually kind of touched on that. Is when people plateau, most people will plateau about 3 to 6 weeks, and it can go longer depending on the health of the individual person. So the more that person struggled with medical or health problems or weight loss, more often their body's actually malnourished. And so what ends up happening is that our body's trying to regrow itself. So when ketones are present, the body the cells will replenish faster, the cells actually communicate better. So look around our country. How many people are dealing with osteoporosis or osteopenia, bone density issues? Not just our country, our planet. And when you're starting to get nourished and your body's getting proper nutrients into the cells, it's going to regenerate bone, muscle, blood vessels, hair, skin, nails. All that is weight. So a lot of people will actually see their body change without the weight changing, because their body's actually trying to heal itself and get healthy. Your body doesn't care about the scale. It cares about being alive. And so it's going to do the best it can to regenerate itself. And that's why I use these words often with people, is that there's a point where you got to kind of, I used to be a poker player. I don't do it much anymore. I used to be a poker player. You just got to go all in. What I mean by that is commit. Commit to the idea, commit to the lifestyle. And when you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to bring yourself to educating yourself more about it. Get on Maria Emmerich's cookbook, the Ketogenic Cookbook, Keto Adapted. Things like that can be very helpful for you just to understand the bigger picture. Nancy, I know you love to watch videos and read, and get on there and just watch videos and learn a little bit. And your body will regrow itself. The end is worth it. And just celebrate along the way. And I think that you'll see some pretty special things. And there's a lot of literature that supports the density in the bones and the muscles and everything else that you can find if you'd like.
Thank you. That's just awesome. Tim, do you have another question or anything you want to throw out to Dustin?
No, I'd like to say before we end this is thank you so much, Dustin. And I don't know Brian or Michael, but I'd like to thank them too, because this is changing my life right now, and it's going to change the life of the people around me. And there's a lot. And it's hard for me to introduce it to everybody around me right now, because they'll all want it right away, and it's not open to Canada yet, right? So I got to be careful. But I can show them a lifestyle, which I am. But I just want to say thank you. I'm grateful for this group. It's a totally different group than than I'm used to. I'm a musician also, and I'm used to be with all these other different kind of people. So, but it's a great community. It's needed. It's needed everywhere. I got people. I'm going to work in my studio in Bermuda in November. I'm going to share it with everyone in that week in Bermuda. that I know, all my connections there about this, right? And a lot of them are living in the States too. My family in Barbados, I'm sharing it with them. This is a whole lifestyle, this is a whole change of being better. So I'd like to say thank you, Dustin, and to your group for actually bringing this to light. So this is what we do need to help each other.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. And Tim, we're so glad that you're part of it. Your energy is amazing. I look forward to talking to you and seeing you all the time. It's great. Yeah, we know we're revving our engines for Canada. There's no doubt about it. And I can tell you, Dustin, one of the things that happened with Nancy and I when we were talking about this, I was not looking for a new purpose in my life. I take care of 3 ill people full-time, 2 teenagers, a crazy dog, and I had 2 other businesses. But, things happen in life that like we don't know and we don't expect, right? Because I have a new purpose. And I am passionate about sharing this. And I feel like, there's been a big lie to us for 25, 50 years. Right? And we've seen everybody get heavier and sicker in our own families, in ourselves, in the world. And I'm just so passionate about helping people be better and see this. And I know that you are. And I could not be any happier to be working with anyone else other than you, Dustin, truly. I mean, I absolutely love that lofty goal of 1 million people. Because why not make lofty goals? I believe you'll hit it.
And the thing is, you shoot for the stars, you'll still hit the moon, and I'm okay with that. So, although I do think I'm going to get it, and I'm excited about that journey.
Absolutely. So we are. I don't know. I feel really blessed, truly. Not just saying it. Nancy and I have talked about it a lot. We feel really, really blessed to be able to work with you and for you to help us out and give us your knowledge, and anybody I've ever asked you to connect with, I'm so grateful. You've been more than willing to do that with them and give them the time. So thank you very much. I don't know if there's anything else you want to kind of say to us. Otherwise, we always end with Nancy doing a cool little visualization. She makes us close our eyes, and we end with that. So if you're up for it, she checks, by the way, if we peak.
I'll be here. I'm good.
All right. Hey, thanks. I'm going to say thanks to everybody and good night. After Nance does this, we'll close it down.
All right, thanks.
All right, everybody, it's that time. We're just going to shut our eyes. Oh, now it's my husband's going to bang around. Can you for 2, please? I don't think he thinks it's me. I'm talking to you, babe. All right, so we just shut our eyes, and tonight's visualization, we're going to do something a little bit different. I want you to imagine yourself in your own bed, in your bed at your home with your cozy pillows and your blankets all tucked up in and around you, and you're lying however way you lie, whether you lie in the fetal position or you lie straight out in your back, whatever it is, you lie, and I want you to pretend that it's first thing in the morning, and your alarm clock is about to go off and you're waking up, and I want you to sit and think through the sequence of process of what you do when you have to wake up. Your eyes kind of open and you sort of bend over and sort of sit up on the edge of your bed, and you stretch your legs out and you stretch your arms out. Just imagine you stretching all over, and you get up and you can walk to the washroom and do your morning routine in the washroom, and you can hear the birds chirping or your kids playing or talking in the other room. You can smell the smell of coffee first thing in the morning. Now, think about what I've just said. You've opened your eyes and you can see. You've stretched your back so your spine is all nice and straight so you can actually push yourself off the bed of your own free will. You've put your feet on the ground and you've walked of your own free will. You've used your arms to open doors and to brush your teeth and maybe brush your hair or wash your face. You have ears that you can hear with. You have every single thing that you're entitled to in the universe. Your body works. Most of us have a body that works, and we just need to stop for a few minutes and be grateful for what we've got And once we can be grateful for every ounce of what we already have, that's the place we can move forward from to get better and better and better. So that's all tonight. Just remember that you already have a great piece of machinery. That's all. Anyways, I hope everybody has a great night, and I look forward to seeing you all next week on our Be Better Tuesday. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Thanks, everybody. We love you. Good night.